Oh, it's back on the driveway. Let's get in the car and let's talk about how it all went. Alright, so if you don't follow the channel, this is my 135i. I've had it for 3 or 4 months and I am rejecting the car. BMW have had the car for pretty much a month, like three and a bit weeks. They've been assessing the car, proving all the problems that I've told them about. It's a weird one. It's not as straightforward as you might think. But yeah, we'll get onto it. If you have enjoyed this whole series, like and subscribe. I say it every time. I haven't done this for clicks or views or any sort of gain, because this has been one of the most stressful things I've ever done. But we're here, we're handing my car back, we're finally getting somewhere-ish. So in the last one, I told you I've taken it up with someone above, and they're essentially sorting it all out. Got to be fair to her. She did more in like 3 days than the rest of them did in like 3 months. So again, I've got to be fair to her. We've got the car back now, but I'll run you through just before we got the car back. So they phoned me. They said, Thomas, what is your, they call me Thomas. They said, what is your like goal here? Do you want to hand the car back, get a full refund, or do you want to exchange it for another car? Similar to what we saw on the channel with what Dave did. He handed his F40 back and he's now got an F70. As I said, that was a video the other day. I was like, if I'm being completely honest, I want to hand the car back and just be gone. The experience I've had has been horrible and I don't want to kind of give you any more chances, but I do need a car. So I'll come in, we'll assess the figures, and then I'll see if it is worth my time or not. I wasn't really after another car from them, but again, if they bent over backwards for me, or they did something to help me out, considering how stressful this has all been. As I said, I don't know if I've said it, this whole process has gone on for about 2.5 months. So yeah, you'd hope that they do something for me. So we went in. I had a list of cars that I was after, being a 235i to like an X3, like a used one, to a 330e, all sorts of cars, new, used, everything. And pretty much they were happy to help me. Like, I'm not going to say they weren't, but they made it seem like it was like I was begging them kind of thing. And the salesman said something which I wasn't a big fan of. I think he meant it as a joke. I've given the benefit of the doubt at every single stage. You know that. He said, Tom, I normally see my customers every 2 years, not every 2 months. I think he was meant to say that as a joke, but I don't want to be there as much as you don't want to be there. And I'm going to say it how it is. If the salesman worked harder, he might have had a job. If the salesman worked harder, he might have had a sale. Because he didn't really work hard and he made me feel like I was there as a burden. I get it's been a stressful process for everyone, but I don't want to be there as much as they don't. He kind of lost the sale because he was basically not interested, which is a shame. But I think it's a blessing, because they treated me wrong from the very start. They treated me wrong through the whole process, and now I'm giving them a second chance. They're still borderline treating me wrong. So I think I'm glad it went that way. So I did go down the route of getting a full refund. That I'm finding out about that in a couple of days, which I should update the channel with. The car is done, but I have a feeling we're going to find a few more obstacles before then. But that's the story for another day. As I arrived in my 2 Series Grand Tourer, the big bus, or the Active Tourer, whatever it's called, we saw my car in the car park. So I went over to it. It was unlocked, left unlocked in the open car park. Yeah, it is what it is. But I then went in. We did the whole car thing. I settled on handing the car back. I don't want another car. And then she said, you should find out next week, early next week, because this was on Friday. I said, okay, that's completely fine. Can I take my car back just for a couple of days rather than driving the Active Tourer? She said, oh, is your car done? And then I said, yeah, it's in the car park. I presume it's done. Now, I don't really know how to stand on this, because there's two sides of it. There's one side of it, I'm a customer who booked my car in for work to be done, and I told them I don't want the work to be done. They all knew I was handing the car back. Everyone, as far as I'm aware, was on the same page. But the other side of it is, I'm a customer who handed their car in for work, and I was not told that the car was done. I didn't get a text, I didn't get an email, I didn't get a phone call. I only know the car was done because I saw it with my own eyes in the car park. Now again, this is a small thing because I'm handing the car back, but it's not about that. This is my car, I'm still paying for this car. And if this process doesn't go through for whatever reason, or we do find more obstacles, it's still my car. So they didn't phone me and tell me, Tom, after 3.5 weeks, your car is done, you can come and collect it. I had to tell them. So I said to her, oh, can I not just take my car, like it's in the car park? She went, oh, is your car done? Then she went and asked. Suddenly my car was done. Then we had to sign it all off. I've got to be fair to the guy. I didn't catch his name, but the guy on the service reception, he had dreadlocks or braids. He was the nicest guy I've met ever. And if you are watching this, you're amazing. You were more kind and polite to me than everyone else combined. And you were the one person who didn't have to be. You were part of another team completely, so thank you. But yeah, it was a bit annoying that I had to tell them my car was done when realistically, let's be honest, they should be telling me. So yeah, as I said, we are sat in the car now. I should find out within the next couple of days if we are handing the car back. She just needs to get it confirmed. I can't see why not. And that leaves me on to the final part of a lot of you say, oh, like they need to have one chance to fix it. So you're right. However, I started the process within the 30 days of owning the car. If you start it within the first 30 days, you're entitled to hand the car back, no questions, no quibbles. But if you started it after that, then they are allowed one chance to fix the car. Not two, not three, one chance. So if you say, take the car in to get the door noises fixed, then you drive it up the road and there's still door noises, obviously a door noise may not be the noise that we're after. Like to hand the car back, it might need to be a bit more extreme. But that kind of thing, they're allowed one chance to fix your car if you started it after the 30 days. Driving the car last night, obviously I have to drive this car. I don't want to, I absolutely hate this car, but I've got to drive the car around. Turbo still making noise. Apple CarPlay still not connecting, and someone else was actually connected to my Apple CarPlay. Maybe they were testing it, I understand, but they clearly didn't test it if it still doesn't work. The door still creaks every time I turn right. The turbo, I don't know if I said it, still makes noise. What did they do for 3 weeks? Why did it have to go on for 3 weeks? I understand if it was a week, and I've got photos of the car with the door off. The speakers are all still blown. Why did you take the door off if you're going to put it back on and it's still making the same sounds? Why did you take off the doors in the back if the speakers are still blown? Why did you say you might have to order a new turbo if the turbo's still making noise? I cannot understand why they had to waste my time for 3 weeks, which costed me content, I had to drive the Active Tourer, costed me my street cred. No, I'm joking, but do you understand where I'm coming from? Why did it have to take 3 weeks if the car has returned to me in the exact same state that it left me? I've been racking my head and I cannot understand it. I said to them, I don't want the work to be done. There is that argument, but it doesn't take 3 weeks to not do work. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That was a bit confusing. I had to tell them my car was done. They didn't actually do anything to my car after 3 weeks. We're still waiting for a final answer. And I have a feeling it might be a bit stressful because the whole process has been stressful. There's going to be a couple more obstacles. I'm prepared for it. I've already got about 5 emails prepared for whatever way they try to go. I know they've messed me about every single step. I'm glad I didn't go for a new car as well, because as I said, if they're still treating me in this way, it's never gonna end, is it? I'm sorry I get so loud and passionate, but this is my time, my car, my money, and they're basically playing about now. So hopefully the next one is they took my car back. It's all over. Will it be? Who knows? And hopefully I'll see you again. As I said, this hasn't been my intention to make it all a series, but you've got to try and make a positive out of a big negative. I'll see you again. Cheers.